Hello, YouTube Lamb, and welcome to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 57, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Of course, I am your host, Dantes, and joining me, like always, Caleones. How you doing, Caleones?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And yeah, we have, quite a few interesting topics to talk about. Some of them, we're not just going to discard them. We're going to, talk a little more in depth about how certain things can be possible. Also, the big announcement that, sadly, it got leaked beforehand, but still it was, pretty big and, a pretty great game to, for the Nintendo Switch to be receiving this year. And of course, just talking about any other topic or anything else that may have happened this week. So go ahead and Dante, so we can get started. Go and run with it.
Well, welcome, PAF, Jeff. Dick, what is up? Our salesman. Dick, if you can drop some sales, go ahead, start selling the channel. And of course, Dantes the Gamer, what is up? Welcome to the stream. But with all that said, I think it's time to start with the show. Let's do that rigmarole so we can start. I want to welcome everybody to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 57, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, hit that bell so you get all the notifications every time we put some content for your entertainment. Also, you can get this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Last Get In and Get Out has over close 80 listens, Caleones, in SoundCloud. Everybody wants to hear some Super Smash Bros, I guess. But it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, you can get that this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show us some love. Also, go to the description box so you can see the full channel schedule. I want to pump up a little bit of content yesterday. Caleones and Force Unison streams cover for me and play with his kids Overcooked. Really fun stream. Go ahead and watch it. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Also, Facebook page at Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to forceinunison.wordpress.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, are you guys ready? I said, are you ready? For the no one out there and the 10 people watching around the world, let's get ready for Reggie's Hot Topics of the Week.
My body is ready.
My body is ready. And Caleones, what is the first hot topic?
Okay, the first hot topic of the week, and of course, we're going to be talking about this one first and foremost, is that there has been a little rumor running around. I may know where it started, maybe not, maybe it came out from somewhere else, but the rumor states that possibility that Nintendo is working on a 4K Switch console, and it's going to be released in 2019. It is 2018 this year, so that means 4K Nintendo Switch next year somehow. About the specs, all the things that they were saying about it is it's going to be kind of like checkerboard 4K. It's not going to be a true 4K, so it's not going to have the power of like an Xbox One X, but it's going to have 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it's also going to have 128 gigabytes of internal memory. So the question is, Dantes, how believable is this?
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. You've been sniffing this news out in Twitter. I've been seeing you hitting the streets like a big gaming journalist. So, is it truth? Do you know where it came from? Let's start there. And then what I can tell you is my wish list if I would like to see a console like this. So.
Okay, so what's your wish list? Like, what is it that you would like on it?
Oh, you want to talk about that first? You don't know exactly where it came from yet? This news? Okay, I'll do my wish list first. And I'll let you know, and then you tell me if it's true, how you feel about it. So my wish list is I would like that this is true. I would buy it first day. If they tell me that this system will give me consistent performance on all Switch games, including portable. And what I mean with that, love Xenoblade Chronicles, love that game, but that game does suffer with performance a lot. If I'm gonna get stable performance on games like Xenoblade or increase it to like 60 frames per second consistently on all the games, imagine Breath of the Wild at 60 frames per second. Caleones, I'm in. I prefer performance than visual. I don't care about 4K, checkerboarding. I don't care. The only problem that I feel that is gonna be a little bit tough is it sounds like an expensive console if they try to do that. And the point of the Switch is to be portable. Now, will I see a Switch Pro at some point? Yeah. And I think 8 gigs of RAM would be great. But I would prefer that storage. Storage, you can leave it the same. Leave even the screen the same. I would prefer just internal performance where the games just run better. I would buy that day one, Caleones. I like performance. So, yes, I would like to be true. I feel it is not. And if we get a Switch Pro, which at some point we will, I think it will be more dedicated to performance. But Nintendo will not change like the screen, the storage, or anything to that extent that stay the same, because that way you can keep lower or same price. Go ahead, Caleones.
Okay, so as far as the rumor, I heard Marcus Sellers was saying it, but before him, I think like half an hour before, Super Metal Dave 64 was the one that said it. Before him, I was trying to see who else may have said it. I haven't been able to find that. So I'm trying to get the original source of it. But so far, it goes as far as back as Super Metal Dave, which is, seems to be the one that originated it. It could have been from somewhere else, but I still haven't found it. But to me, I don't think it's believable for it to have those specs on the console itself, because you got to think about how much more performance, like how much battery is gonna require. It's gonna require a bigger fan as well, because the console is gonna be getting hotter. I know that the PS4 Pro is not. It's not gonna have the specs of the PS4 Pro, but you can hear the fan on the PS4 Pro sometimes about how hard it's working, and you're gonna need that for the Switch if it's gonna have those specs in it. I know it's not gonna have like a Blu-ray drive or anything like that. But still, when it comes to the internals, the hardware, and all that, it will require a bigger fan. So I don't think that it is possible on the handheld itself, at least not for another 2 to 3 years. And I think 2019 is a little too early for that. What I believe is that maybe it's a possibility for maybe like 2020, 2021. That's when you can really start thinking about that. But I don't know, like it's I think it's a little outlandish. I don't think it's true. I would like for it to be true, but we probably will have to wait a little longer. But we could also talk about the supplemental box, to give it additional energy. But if that's the case, it will be required to be more like a console itself and not as a handheld.
Like I said, I'm fine with a supplemental box, and if they sell it separately, that would be even better, because that makes it cheaper. If that supplemental box gets me with the specs that I want, I'm all for that. But the rumors itself states the console itself, and to your point, fan could be an issue, heating would be an issue, because you're trying to make this a portable system. But somehow I believe as tech gets better, and in 2 years, Caleones, next year, is already the tech is going to be better, that you could possibly get even better cooling, better, GPU, better fans inside the system. I could see them doing something. I think they will do something. They've done it in the past. And, me personally, like the 3DS, give you an example. I had the original DS, right? Then I bought the new redesign because I liked it better. It was more comfortable to me than the old one. But what I did is I traded in the old one and bought the new one, and it always then cost me like $100 to $150 more. But to me, that was worth it. The same with the 3DS. I had the original 3DS. Then I traded to the new clamp design. Did the same thing, and then I also traded it to the new 3DS when it came out. But again, I traded the old one, got the new one, and I paid $100 more. And I can do that. I know a lot of people can't do that. I understand, but I can do that because I wanted the 3DS, the new 3DS with the color Xenoblade. I wanted to support Xenoblade, and having Xenoblade portable is always cool. So that my point is, there's always been a reason for me, and I believe if they promise me performance, there's a reason. Somehow, Nintendo, I think Nintendo, honestly, to your point, Caleones, they're trying to figure out a way to see how they can do it in a supplemental box. I agree with you there. I don't think they will try to do it on the console itself because it's going to be more expensive. So how? Do they have another processor? Kind of like what the PSVR. Give you an example. If you guys don't know, PSVR, even though it's a cool tech, there's a lot of wires on it, but that is because they have a supplemental processor that you connect to the PlayStation to get rendering twice. Because if you guys don't know, basically what PlayStation VR is doing is rendering twice the same game, so be able to see the field of view. So my point to that is that that's doable, and you could see a portable box or also a Switch dock that has a processor that you could expand, and it's just maybe it's not gonna be a big deal though. To me, if they do that, it's more giving you a little bit more performance, giving you a better stable frame rate, getting you a little bit maybe games now hitting all of them 1080p maybe out of the TV consistently, right? Because a lot of games fluctuates. Like the example, Mario Odyssey is like 900p, 60 frames per second, which is great. The game looks great, but imagine playing now Mario Odyssey at 1080p. 60 frames per second, Caleones. So yeah, I agree with you that I think the supplemental box is the way to go if they can't do it, because that's the cheaper option, even for us consumers, because then you just buy the cheaper box. But I still feel that at some point a Switch Pro will come out, because Nintendo this generation more than ever. Nintendo used to be, and you Nintendo fans, I'm gonna maybe take a little dig here at Caleones, but you Nintendo fans always said, "Oh, Nintendo, they go with their own tune. Oh, Nintendo, they're innovators because they don't follow trends." But this generation, more than ever, they're following a lot of trends, Caleones. You have to admit that, and it's working for them in a sense, because finally, instead of being stubborn, they're following trends that work. And one of the examples of following trends is paying for online. They're paying for online, which shitty Microsoft started that shit, and now everybody's paying for online, which sucks, but there's a trend that they follow. They're trying to give a game as, hey, if you get our online service, you'll get a free game. You get a free Nintendo game with whatever. Maybe that will lead them to achievements, another trend that they should have done a long time ago, and still don't do it. But it sounds like little by little we may get there because they're following trends. And I do believe that at some point they will follow the trend of having a middle of the, which Nintendo has done in the past, to clarify. It's not a trend per se, because Nintendo has done revisions to their hardware, but a stronger revision, a mid-gen refresh, let's call it that way. I think with technology moving too fast, somehow they will do something about it.
Okay, but the question is 2019 too soon for it to be happening? And I think, without thinking about it, doing a revision, the Nintendo Switch came out in March 2017. So by 2019, if it's early 2019, it's going to be 2 years. If it's late 2019, it's going to be 2.5 years. So the question becomes, would that be too soon for Nintendo to do any type of revision at all? And more so, a 4K, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 RAM, of memory. Would that be way too soon for something like that? I'm not sure if it's possible. Like I said, when it comes to heating, when it comes to the battery life, and I'm pretty sure that the screen would be improved, because if you go with something like this, I believe the screen has to be at the very least 1080p. It can no longer be 720p, so the screen will have to change as well. And that's why I think that it's and this ties in with the other rumor, because the other rumor states that there's going to be certain games that are only going to be playable on this one and won't be playable on the other one. So that means that
I agree with that, though. That Nintendo has to find a way, if they're doing a mid-gen refresh, that all games work on the new console.
Yeah, but the problem then becomes you're creating a game for 4K, 100, 1080, let's say 4K console, and then you're asking the developer to create the game for the dock Nintendo Switch, and there you're asking them as well to create the game for the like the handheld version as well. So it's technically they have to work. I mean, they have to make 3 different types of the same game. I don't know how long, because I'm not a developer, so I don't know how much more time that takes for them to create a game for for the dock and play it on the TV and then make it run on the handheld as well, because you have to make certain optimizations so it can run both ways. And it seems like, I mean, if they do a great job, because as soon as you undock it, it automatically, translate over to the handheld. Once you put it back in, it's there on the TV, so you don't need to do anything else. But now asking them to do a 4K type game, that's going to be a little too much. I believe that yes, with the supplemental box, it will be possible, but I don't think it will be possible for it to run on the system itself. And I guess on the system itself, it has to be 1080p. So we're not asking a 4K screen on the handheld or anything like that. But I don't know. I think it's a little too much to believe right now. And I think 2019 maybe a little too soon. 2020 maybe, but 2019, I do not see it for 2019.
So a couple of things. PSV Xbox C says it's not too soon. He wants the upgrade. And then Dick, of course, adds the trend helps Nintendo get people to pay and play, which in his opinion, he doesn't like. They now are being in the true Nintendo that they used to be, I guess. So he's kind of saying that he doesn't like them Nintendo kind of like hoarding a lot of money. But I'll say this, Dick, and PSV Xbox C. Here's what I'm gonna say. If it splits the market, then they're wrong. They should not. The system is too soon. 2019 is too soon. If it's just a performance upgrade, 2019 it is not soon. I think 2019 is fine. If it's just a performance upgrade, because I keep saying, you guys need to get ready. The Switch console is only gonna be there for a 5-year generation, 4.5 to 5-year generation. That is it. Technology is moving too fast for these consoles to be like the old days where they could stay 5 to 6 years. I think you're going to get a Switch, and next year is 2 years, basically, 2.5 years, middle of the gen. Next year, you would possibly could get a performance boost or type of Switch, but not if, again, it splits the market. No, I'm against that. The Pro and the Xbox One X are fine in my head because they haven't split the market. Now, in the Xbox One X, I think went overboard because in reality, they're not taking advantage of all that power. When you have PlayStation games looking better than a lot of the Xbox games, even with all that power, if you have all that power, it's not worth it if you're not taking advantage of it, in my opinion. But that still, if you're doing it just mid-gen refresh and everybody's playing on them, then I'm fine with that, to do the upgrade. Again, this generation is going to be really, really short, guys. So, anything to add?
Well, I mean, you're saying that, reiterate it again, it's, 2019 is going to be too soon, 2020 maybe, but it's going to happen. Like, at some point, it will be happening, but that's the thing. I don't know how Nintendo will be able to do it. If they do, if they somehow manage to pull a 4K, even if it's checkerboard console, 128 gigabytes of RAM of internal memory, 8 gigs of RAM of memory, and have it released in 2019, then that's going to be a big deal, and that will definitely help them keep getting those third-party games from Pro and the Xbox One X. They won't be looking like that, but at least developers won't have to downgrade the games too much to have it run on the system. And that's another thing that we're going to be talking about, where you were talking about Nintendo and following certain trends. And when they first showed the console being a handheld and a home console as well, I believe okay, so Nintendo's not really showing for the same third-party games as the other companies, because they're going to have their own third parties with be it the Ace Attorneys, the Professor Layton's, the Snack Worlds, and the Yokai Watch and those types. So those were the ones that I was thinking, okay, so Nintendo's going to get those third-party games, but they're going to be exclusive third-party games, or console exclusives at least, because those are not going to be on any other console. So that's going to help them. But the surprise that I had, and the trends that they're going to continue to follow, because they're going very deep into their pockets to try to get third-party games, and they're showing it now, because the next topic that we have on here, and it is that Diablo 3 is heading over to the Nintendo Switch, and that tells you that Nintendo is very serious about getting third-party games into the system. So
Yeah.
how surprised were you, Dantes, about Diablo 3 and the announcement?
So let me touch a point that you said before. So I always say that third parties are important, but again, I'm gonna keep saying it. This is the first generation where hardcore gamers are buying a Nintendo console in a sense, and that's why you see some more third party. Because again, uniqueness of the Switch, which I said they're following some trends, but the Switch is still a unique kind of system. It's a hybrid system, so I think it helps sell third party a lot of it. Now going back to Doom Eternal, I mean, I think the first Doom sell well enough for Bethesda. Is it a Bethesda game? Right, Doom is a Bethesda game. I don't remember. Anyway, tell me, Caleones, if you could check. But anyway, it's sell well enough for them to bring the sequel to the console. But now this is where Nintendo Switch fans or whoever or Nintendo owners who take offense when we say that Nintendo Switch is a great second console. This is your chance to prove that your Nintendo Switch should be treated like a first console of choice for a lot of people. And what that means is that this Doom Eternal needs to sell. So the surprise was getting the first Doom on it. Great, they did it. It's a port being done by the experts on the Switch architecture. Panic Button, awesome. Doom Eternal will be now. This is the biggest challenge for Panic Button because Doom Eternal will get the benefit of more years of development time on the other consoles. It will look way better on the other consoles. How can you bridge that gap? How can you make it attractive enough so, boom, you buy it first day and then you see how the sales compare to the other consoles. This is the opportunity that me and Karen have said plenty of times here in the show. Opportunity where it comes out date and date with the other consoles, how well it will do. I think it's gonna be big telling, Caleones, and we shall see. I'm interested looking at the gaming industry, interested in the gaming industry. I want to see how well Doom Eternal does on the Switch day and day with the other ones.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, Doom Eternal, it is made by Bethesda. Diablo 3 is made by Blizzard Entertainment. But I don't know, like, Diablo 3, it is not a new game. It's been around for a couple of years. It was out originally on the PS3 and Xbox 360. So, I mean, it is not a game that's coming out right now. Doom Eternal, yes, that one is going to be a brand new game and it's going to be coming out day and date with the other consoles as well. So that one, that is surprising because you would think that Nintendo or the Switch would take a little bit longer for that game to optimize it, to have it ready and all that. But Panic Button is doing a great job when it comes to ports on the Switch, and it seems like Doom Eternal is not going to be an exception as well. So that's going to continue the trend of big third-party games making it over to the console, and it seems like they're selling well enough that they continue to be made over and over again. And it's to the point where even Panic Button themselves said that they're turning away projects that other companies are coming over to them to ask them to make the ports because they have so many. Even though the company's growing, they're getting a lot more employees, but they have to turn away so much work because of it. But then again, that's great for the company because even at some point, if they do decide to work on their own IPs, all this money is going to help them out, so they can invest on those games. But yes, they are finding a lot of work and doing a great job. So that's great for them.
The only thing I'm gonna say, I know I went on a rant with Doom Eternal because again, that was a big. To me, that's gonna be an interesting point of third-party support. Diablo 3 itself. Here's the only complaint that I have about Diablo 3. I'm happy that it's getting a Switch version. I'm happy that the game is coming with its own Switch content with Ganondorf. It's gonna be part of the package. I guess you could put it that way. But at the same time, they're selling the game in $60 when you can get that game in other consoles for $20 and $40 or way cheaper than that because the game has been out a long ass time in other consoles, Caleones. So I think if you're selling ports of all games on the Switch, and I know it takes development time and money, but it's not as much expensive as when you're developing the game for the first time. I believe that they should have a little bit of a discount, Caleones, where games that are being on other systems for a lot of years should be at $40. That is my only complaint about Diablo, that it's going to be a $60 game when you can get it on other system. make it more attractive. Give it a shot that the Switch crowd will buy it. And some of them will buy it, but I think more of them would buy it if the game sells at $40. But aside from that, I'm happy that Diablo 3 is coming to the Switch. Again, more games is better. Like I said, a lot of people take offense. That's why I brought the Doom Eternal example. A lot of people take offense that we say Switch, or basically, fans from other consoles like myself, a Sony fan, say, oh, the Switch is the perfect secondary console for me, for how I game. It is. It is the best secondary console. And to me, the Switch is already becoming, it's already over the Wii U, in my opinion, as consoles now, and GameCube. I would say to me it's even better than the GameCube at this point. I will reserve my judgment later once the lifespan ends if it's gonna be better than the Wii. Again, I know a lot of people say we're like, well, I say the Wii's so great. If you look at the hardcore games, the Wii was really good. So I want to see at the end of the generation how it's gonna stack with the Wii and the N64 and put them there. But I say that the Switch, it's a great console. And if you guys really want to prove that those games need to come day to day, like Doom Eternal, you need to buy those games. And also, I'm with you too, if you don't want to buy a game like Diablo 3 because it's too expensive, you can get it on Steam, on PlayStation, on Xbox really cheap. I understand that too. And that's where I'm kind of like telling companies, if you really want to give a Switch a shot and you're putting a old port of a game, try not to sell it, because at first people were buying those games at those prices, like Skyrim, Caleones, because they wanted to say, yes, bring me more games. They wanted proving a point. But at that point, at some point, Caleones, that honeymoon is gonna end, and you need to make things attractive, because the eShop or the lineup on the Switch is getting crowded now. So it's harder to sell an old port of a game at $60. You're fighting now with other games for the people's attention. So to me, you need to make it a little bit more, attractive, so people can buy your game.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, at least when they announced the Diablo 3 for the Switch, I did look at the prices for the other consoles, and I saw the Diablo the expansion, which is, well, not the expansion, but the collection of all the expansion, which is the same one that's going to be releasing on Switch. If you're going to buy the physical copy on the PS4 or the Xbox One, it still retails at $40. So it's not, much cheaper than that. And if you look at the digital copies, if you're going to buy it digitally, and this, I don't know why, but it won't be cheaper, but they're actually at $60 on the PS4 and Xbox One. So it is not that much cheaper. And we do know that, we've talked about it before, there is some sort of Nintendo Switch tax that they apply because of the the cartridges being more expensive. But either way, on the eShop, I'm pretty sure it's going to be $60 as well. So it's not because of the cartridge, just because of the cartridge. But you also do have the Nintendo exclusive content as well. I don't know how much it's going to be, or if it's going to be really worth an additional $20 over the $40 that it costs on the other ones. I'm not sure. Probably not, but still, at least you get additional exclusive content as well. So, and yes, they make a lot of money, Blizzard as a company, but still, they want to make sure that they have a return on that investment, which is, porting the game over to Switch. So $60
is that huge, yeah. Caleones. They could sell the game at $40. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll say it was a bigger deal for me releasing Skyrim on the Switch at $60, where you can find those at $20 physical copies at the stores, than Diablo 3, which is still $40 and $60 digitally. So that price is not too far off with how it's been sold, even though the game is it's been out for a lot of years. But like I said, this collects all the DLC. It does have the additional Nintendo exclusive content as well. And of course, it's coming out on a Nintendo console for the first time. So it is not that much more expensive than the PS4 and Xbox One versions versus what Skyrim was at the time when it came out. But either way, I would love for the game to be $40, especially since it's been out for that long. We've talked about it before. You mentioned games like Crash Bandicoot, where they could have easily sold it for $60, but they sold it for $40. Same thing with Uncharted Lost Legacy, they could have sold it for 60. They sold it for $40 as well. Or even Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which they released and they sold for 40. You said that you may or may not agree with a $40 price tag on that one, but still, I mean, they didn't release it at $60. So they could make, they could be more conscious when it comes to that. But then again, it is Blizzard investing on, I think it's what's it, Iron Galaxy, I believe is the one making the port, which is the same company that made the port for Skyrim on the Switch. They're paying that and then releasing it on a new console, in utilizing cartridges, which are more expensive than the Blu-ray. So you know why they're doing it, but you don't fully agree with it.
Well, the only thing I'm saying, because there's two scenarios, right? The first one is more that I believe that Nintendo could explore different price ranges more so, right? In their first party games, like One to Switch, well, it got sold way too expensive. That was my point on that episode. But on here, I'm saying that they need to explore, and this is not Nintendo making the prices. This is Blizzard deciding how much the game is going to cost, right? So they need to explore that range better, like you brought up Skyrim and stuff like that, because on all port games, the competition is getting harder and harder, Caleones. And that was my point. You need to make it more attractive. So, but we shall see. We shall see how Diablo and Doom Eternal, both of them sell. I think they're gonna sell. I think they're gonna sell pretty well. I think Diablo's gonna sell pretty well too. But again, as the library expands, companies need to be more careful putting a $60 price tag on a 5-year-old game. That was my point. So.
Yeah, and if there's another game that I played that you could say is a little bit similar to it, I mean not quite, but just a little bit, it was the Nine Parchments game, and that, I mean, I played it with my son and my daughter. We had lots of fun, and we loved it. Of course, that's more like an arcadey version of what a game like Diablo is. Diablo is a hardcore RPG, dungeon RPG, and it is big. There's so many things that you have to take into considerations. How do you build up the characters? What type of stats on the spells, and et cetera, et cetera. So it is a big game, especially with the expansion. It's going to be a lot bigger as well. And they did say that they plan the game on running at 60 frames per second as well, which I mean, if they do, that's going to be great. Hopefully they can keep it like that. I do know that even the PS4 and the Xbox One, they struggle certain times when you have a bunch of monsters at the same time, on keeping the 60 frames on there. But I mean, even though it is a game that is just coming on the Switch is not as powerful as those, but hopefully they can maintain that sort of fidelity on it. But either way, I'm happy that the game is coming. I felt like it's one of those games that should absolutely be on the Switch, and glad that we're having it this year.
Okay. So, Caleones, let's move on to the last hot topic of the night. We shall see how it goes. It's going to be entertaining, hopefully. Go ahead, Caleones.
Well, and the last topic of today, or tonight, I should say, is that Nintendo has sold over 7 million hardware. 700 million hardware.
If it was 7 million, things would be bad.
That's going to be awful. But I mean, unless it's the Virtual Boy. But yeah, 700 million hardware in its lifetime. This is starting all the way back with the Nintendo Entertainment System, or the NES, and now with the Switch. So among all of those, of course, the highest selling one when it comes to the home consoles is the Wii, with just over 100 million. The highest selling handheld, it is the DS, with I think it's like 154 million sold. But how big is this? 700 million consoles and handhelds sold for Nintendo.
It's great. I mean, I know that this came out because of the $500 million PlayStation that Sony's celebrating for selling hardware. And those fanboys quickly like, no, we have sold more. Weepy-doo.
Yeah, but I actually saw this. This started on, I think came out first on one of the European countries, probably Spain, because I remember the first article that I saw was in Spanish. Then a couple of hours later, everybody here in the U.S. jumped on it, and we're releasing the articles talking about the 700 million sold. And So yeah, I saw it when it originated, but still, I mean, 700 million is 700 million. So we got to celebrate it somehow.
No, I know. I'm just joking how Sony came and said, we're doing a special home console, PlayStation 4, which looks fire. I have to give credit. That console looks really good. But I ain't paying the amount of money it's gonna go sell.
Is it like gold plated or something? Because I know the logos look a little bit different.
No, it's kind of like translucent, I guess is the word. And then it has like a PS, yeah, kind of like that, and and it has like a special LED light on it. So it looks good. It looks good. But only they're gonna make, what is it, 50,000 only on this console?
Yeah, only 50,000. But that's so they can say that they sold out and they can feel good about themselves.
Sure. So they also had a special one, which I like even better than this one, which was a PlayStation 1 looking console with the colors of PlayStation 1, and they only made $50,000. I would have liked that one better than this one. But, I've never been a big into collecting different consoles. I know the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man version also sold out, and I've, listened from Twitter and stuff like that and podcast people who already own PlayStation 4 buying the Spider-Man version because they like it so much. So sometimes, a lot of the times, the same fanboys are just buying 2 to 3 to 4 consoles.
Come on, there's a lot of collectors out there. So
no, I know. I'm just saying. But hey, that's how you make your money. I mean, Xbox is making controllers monthly. So anyway, if that's how you make your money, you do your thing, do your hustle. Companies, forget about it. But no, I was more making fun that quickly they had to make the 700 million consoles or hardware sold from fanboys, which was like, really, guys, you guys celebrating that? And if you see the stats, Sony has had way less hardware than Nintendo. It has way less home consoles than Nintendo, and they have sold more home consoles than Nintendo already, even though they've been in the market less. And yeah, I would say that, portable, Nintendo owns that market. If you put, of course, Vita and PSP against, Game Boy, 3DS, DS, Game Boy Advance.
They only have to do DS and 3DS versus PSP and PS Vita, and don't even count the other Nintendo console. I mean, handhelds, and that should be enough.
Well, but my point to all this is that the reason Nintendo is 200 million consoles over or hardware is because of the portable market. If you put hardware to hardware next to each other, PlayStation already passed them, dude, with 4 consoles only compared to 7. So it's like, you're celebrating that. An article came out. I mean, I don't know, whatever makes fanboys sleep better at night. But when you do math, it kind of also a little bit, you could be a little bit butthurt because with less hardware, PlayStation is as close to your ass or has sold more, at least in the console section, than Nintendo. So anyway, it is what it is. I thought it was funny, but that's how it goes. Caleones, anything to add about the 500 million?
Well, I mean, it's fun. Seeing the back and forth with certain people. I know that we like to take jabs and stuff, but we don't really take it personal. I mean, there's a lot of people that do take it personal, and they take it to a whole nother level. But yeah, it's still it is a big achievement. 700 million hardware sold for the Switch. If the Switch gets
Nintendo, not for the Switch.
For the Switch, or for Nintendo. But if the Switch gets to close to the 80, 90 million, I said 100. You said probably 60, 70 or something like that.
I said 70 to 80. I said
70 to 80.
PlayStation 3 numbers in my brain, but we'll see.
Yeah, so if they get there, that's going to be 750 million. And hopefully within the next maybe 10 years, they can go over $1 billion. So that's going to be impressive. Just to say that they've sold over $1 billion handheld and console, that will be impressive. And what I hope more out of than anything else is that they're counting the home consoles, they're counting the handhelds together, and hopefully they're going to be counting them like this, because Nintendo's not really going to go back to just a handheld. And that's it. That the next every other console they're going to be releasing is going to be something similar to the Switch, where you will be able to play that at the house, you will be able to play it on the go, but that you have the ability to do it both ways, instead of just having a dedicated handheld that is going to have completely different games and games that are not going to make it to the main console, which is gonna grab the fan base basically and split it in half again, which is what I didn't really agree with. Seeing so many games by third parties on the 3DS, never making it over to the Wii U, and it hurt because Wii U was lacking in games, even though it had great quality games from Nintendo, but they were far and few and far in between compared to how the Switch is doing, which I mean it has over 1,000 games already, or hit 1,000 games before this first year. So that's being pretty impressive, and hopefully they're not going to take it and split them in half again. Hopefully they will continue doing it like this, but either way, congratulations to Nintendo for selling over 700 million hardware, and congratulations to Sony as well for selling over 500 million.
Yep, I think that's perfectly said. And with that, I think we're done with hot topics. Time to move to Anuma's news burst. Caleones, what is the first piece of news in today's news burst?
Well, the first piece of news, and this is coming from Blizzard's senior producer, name is Pete Stillwell, and he basically asks or says, well, I don't know, like it sounds like either asking Nintendo to, but he wants his Diablo character to be playable on Smash Brothers. I know that this is basically what every company out there wants, and even I mean I'll say like for you to be featured on Smash, that's going to be additional exposure for your character. It does help, especially for games that are going to be coming out on your console. And what better endorsement for a game like Diablo 3 if than by featuring their character on the game. Then again, the game already has over 70 characters. This is the most they've ever had, and we don't really see them adding that many more characters in there. But either way, seems like he does enjoy the game enough to want his character in it. So, any surprises in here?
No, everybody wants to be in Smash. Everybody wants Smash. I mean, based on the numbers, this podcast today, I haven't done even close to those numbers. the Smash, so everybody wants to be in Smash. We might have to do a Smash section, Caleones, on our podcast. So every episode we say Smash going forward.
And put the Smash characters on
the
thumbnail.
Smash characters on the thumbnail. Every thumbnail, every now going forward. But joking aside, I mean, Smash has been a big boost for games. Like, you example, the Marth characters on Fire Emblem, right? Stuff like that has made Smash, I believe, has made Fire Emblem popular here in the West. So, Smash can make certain IPs better or more popular. So it'll be interesting. Everybody wants to be in Smash. We shall see if any other new characters. We're going to get some. So, anyway, go ahead, Carlos, with the next one.
Okay, the next piece of news, and this is also coming from Blizzard. They were talking about, they were asking about other games that they have on their portfolio, and if those games could make it over to the system. And this is what they were saying. They said anything is within the realm of possibility. Our team was given the task to work on this. If and this is talking about the Overwatch developer, if Team 4 picks up that endeavor, that's on them. As of right now, Diablo is our only focus on Switch. And when they asked them if Overwatch, could basically run on the Nintendo Switch, and this is Stillwell, he said that yes, it is feasible. So one of the things that they were talking is that yes, Overwatch seems like it is possible for it to run on the Switch, but it is up to the developer if they want to make it over to the Switch system. So we'll see. What do you think? Do you think Overwatch, by the end of it, will be on the Nintendo Switch?
I mean, Diablo 3 came. I think Blizzard is looking for a possibility, so I think it will happen. I think it's fine. It's a good game to have. But the question is Overwatch worth it now? I feels like Fortnite has taken a lot of the luster of Overwatch to become the most popular game, and Nintendo already has the most popular game in the system. So the question would be more, Caleones, in my opinion, is it a little bit too late for that game to come to the Switch? But we shall see. If it comes great.
Yeah, I'll say like I mean the Switch, even though Fortnite and Overwatch, they're not the same type of game, but it is still an online game where people spend time online, playing with other people. But the closer one to Overwatch is going to be Paladins, and Paladins is already on the Switch. From what I've read, I don't see any hard numbers to go by, but it seems like the game is selling well on the system. Overwatch, it is more famous than Paladins, of course. So if it's there, the one that would really suffer will be Paladins. Fortnite is just going to brush it off, and it's going to be, I mean, it's not really going to affect them at all. At least not until people get tired of it, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. But I think Overwatch would sell great, even if it released, let's say this year. Maybe not wait until too late next year. But I've said from the very beginning, the games that should be on the system, Overwatch is one of them. Grand Theft Auto 5 would be another one. Even a game like Hearthstone would be perfect for the Switch. And I know, like, League of Legends wouldn't be coming over, but Arena of Valor, which is a similar game, and it is really big in Europe. That one should be coming out before the end of this year. I did play the beta. I enjoyed it. So those type of games are doing pretty good. And I see Overwatch. I believe it will be coming out before the end of it.
Okay, go ahead, Caleones.
Okay, going over with the next one. Then this is, of course, we were talking already about Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal. It is being made for the Nintendo Switch. It is going to be coming out day and day with the other consoles releases. It's made by Panic Button, which of course Panic Button already has a bunch of experience on the Switch, and they're aiming for 30 frames per second on that one. So, any disappointment about 30 frames per second? Do you want it to be 60, or how do you feel about it?
You always want games to be 60, but I mean, we have to be realistic too. So, if they get good performance, stable performance, I think they'll be fine. But, we shall see.
Okay, and going over with the next one, and this is that. Well, this is coming from Comic Book, basically the website. They were talking about new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, and they said that it's probably coming over to the Nintendo Switch. I don't know about what to believe about this one. One, I don't know where the rumors are coming from. Two, I've said that I would probably, I would love to have a new Super Mario Brothers collection on the Switch, and that includes the games all the way from the DS to the Wii U. So hopefully they could collect those and release them. Of course, the games on the DS and 3DS should be optimized for the Nintendo Switch system, but they already have the engine running on the Wii U, so it would be natural to have it on there. Also, that'll be another way to try to get Luigi, to get more attention on the system, because he still keeps being ignored, especially when it comes to Super Mario Odyssey. But I don't know, like, do you see Super Mario Brothers U coming out on Switch?
I see it coming out because I think they basically are erasing the Wii U completely. Every Wii U game that Nintendo made on that system is coming over here. We just need Xenoblade Chronicles X and the new Super Mario, not new, the 3D World one, and then you basically have your full your full calendar on there, Caleones. Anyway, I'm not excited about this game. I did play this game a lot on the Wii U. I did everything on the Wii U. I also played the Luigi version, which is harder and really good too. So, and I did everything on that one too. So I'm not excited if they do, but if they do a collection, I agree. Maybe they do a Super Mario All-Stars 2 or something like that, where all the games come in one package, all the new Super Mario. I think that would be better. But I still stand to me that they're making the next new Super Mario Brothers game with Mario Maker together. So you get like a story mode on Super Mario Maker, and you get the tools to develop your own game like Mario Maker. So I think that's the best play for Nintendo in a sense. Hopefully that's what they're doing. If this come out, will I buy it? I don't know. I have to think about it because, again, I already did everything on the original one. So portable, yeah, I guess. We shall see, I guess, Caleones. And what is up, Cool Drummer? Thank you for joining us tonight on the stream. Appreciate it. But go ahead, Caleones, with the next one.
Okay, next one is that, of course, the Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate Nintendo Switch game. The demo has already released, so if you guys want to get your hands on it, play it before the release on the 28th of this month. You can play either solo, you can play co-op on same console, you can play online with other people as well. So you can just get your hands on it, try it out, and get a real feel of how the game plays and runs on the Switch.
Not much to say. I think the only, and we talked about it, the only bad part is that Nintendo hasn't given the love this game deserves, or Capcom promoting this game a little bit more now that we have Monster Hunter being so popular. So we shall see how the game does here in the West.
Okay, and going over with the next one, and this is from the UK charts. The Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy remained the top game on the chart, but we had a couple of...
UK loves the Bandicoot. Crazy.
And of course, I mean, I'll say like this has been helped as well with the release of the Nintendo Switch version, which came out only a couple of months ago. Of course, the game originally came out on the PS4 last year, but this year has seen the Xbox One release as well. But the top 10 games in the UK this past week is Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Lego The Incredibles, Grand Theft Auto 5, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Madden 19, Call of Duty World War II, God of War, Overcooked 2, Super Mario Odyssey, and We Happy Few are the top 10 games in the UK.
Are you buying the Crash Collection, Caleones? You haven't bought it. You got some issues with the Bandicoot because he was all over Nintendo's ass in the old days or something like that? I'm just asking. I mean, I expect you to have it by now.
No, I'm gonna buy it. The only reason is, like I said, I just got a PlayStation 4 Pro 2 weeks ago, so I've been getting a couple of games on it.
You better play PlayStation. I mean, you don't need to play Bandicoot.
Well, I'm catching up with some of the games that I should have played in the last couple of years. But at the same time, I mean, I'm probably gonna be playing a lot more Overcooked with my family as well. We've been having a lot of fun. Overcooked 2, that is. It's been really fun. The whole rushing, screaming, and blaming each other for whatever we burn. It's been a lot of fun. So that's another one that will be touching. And of course, this Saturday we're gonna end A Way Out. So hopefully we will be finishing that one, and we'll try to get the platinum trophy. Try to see if maybe we can do it on the stream.
Yep, we will try. We will try. Go ahead, Carlos, with the next one.
Okay, next one is that there's a rumor about Nintendo Labo. Yes, they've already talked about the third kit, which is coming out this September, but there is a rumor about a fourth Nintendo Labo kit, and that it will be releasing this year. Of course, the third one is slated for September 14th, and the other one, I mean, they haven't said exactly what it is, but it seems like before the holiday season they're gonna push it out. So, are you excited about getting your cardboard on?
Nope. You can move on, Caleones.
Nope. Okay, so not a big deal on this one, I suppose. Well, the other one is we received some sad news, and this hit the video game world, and it is that Ishizuka Unsou has passed away. He actually was the voice of Professor Oak in the Pokemon series, and he is gone now. So we're looking forward to seeing him on the next games. I believe his character is on the Pokemon Let's Go game. So he was going to be on those, and maybe next year. But either way, may he rest in peace.
Okay, go ahead, Carlos.
Okay, next piece of news is that the action RPG Fall of Light Darkest Edition will be coming out on the Nintendo Switch, and it will be releasing this month on the 23rd. And some of the features that they talked about the game, this is coming from My Nintendo News, is that 20 different battle stances, 10 weapon classes, all new dungeons, Protect Aider, Hurt Lightning pierces the darkness as you are stronger together, unlock hidden secrets. They're going to have also Platinum Trophy and 1000 G achievements for the Xbox One and PS4. Hopefully one of these days, Switch will support achievements as well. And it's going to support different languages from French, Italian, German, Spanish, Russian, Portuguese, and it will support English, so don't worry about it. So that's for that one. And the last piece of news, and which may not be the last piece of news, because I want to touch upon something else that just came out. And this is that Gris or Gray is coming to the Nintendo Switch this Christmas season. And that's getting a confirmation from Devolver Digital. When exactly, they haven't really said, but for Christmas, the game will be out. I just want to say something really quick. There's this is coming from GoNintendo.com. They released more details about Dragalia Lost. Dragalia Lost is a new mobile game by Nintendo. And that game is going to be releasing, they said summer 2018. So that's for Japan, China, and those countries. And then it will release later on in Europe and the US. Some of the details that they release is that um, talking about the game, in order to transform into a dragon by borrowing a packed dragon power, the prince needs to first defeat the dragon in battle. This is done to earn their crystal pack. When you enter a dragon state, you are near invisible. The game is expected to launch first in Japan, Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, and it will launch on North America and Europe. And I lost my voice, so I probably should have cut it short from the other articles. So that's it, Dantes. You can close it out. I'm gonna drink some water, and then we can jump on the game releases.
Yeah, you lost your voice completely. User 195. This is a Nintendo podcast, so that's what you're seeing right now. I know that you wanted to hear my sweet voice, and we respect everybody here at this podcast, of course. But PlayStation Mondays is Monday, and then of course Wednesday we got Nintendo Wednesdays. So that's also streams. Then on Friday we got Fortnite Friday. On Saturday, me and Caleones have Force In Unison streams where we go one-on-one. And then he's sweating. He's having a hard time right now. And then the Sundays, we do this little Nintendo podcast for everybody's entertainment. Anyway, with that said, Caleones, thank you for finishing the news. But now it's time to go to our favorite store. Which store are we going to, Caleones?
Okay, so the store is the Shigeru Supermarket.
Bing. Go ahead, Caleones, and tell me what came out. Can you talk, or you want to leave it for later?
I can, and I'm going to try to talk more because I need to jump back later after this one to the rumor about the Nintendo 4K, which means that, which seems like there's a couple of other sources confirming it as well. So I'll discuss that one before we close.
Okay.
But the games of the week is the hot release is The Walking Dead, the final season pass released on the August 13th. Fun Bucks Party, Cosmic Star Heron, State of Mind, Roboto, Red's Kingdom, Next Up Hero, Manuel Samuel, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, Johnny Turbo's Arcade, Nitro Ball, Extreme Poker, Castle Storm, Neo Geo's, Real Bout, Fatal Fury 2, Treadnoughts, Polygod, Persian Knight, Sands of Wonders, and Detective Gallo.
Okay. A smaller list to this week, at least. Thank God.
Yes.
We don't got 20 games. So we're done. You have a game of the week?
Well, I mean, if we were talking about the game of the week, it probably would be the Walking Dead one. That's actually a pretty quality series. Have you played any of them, Dantes?
Season 1. That's the only one that I played. I liked it, but I don't know. I got into it, and then get into it the other ones. And that was a little bit of when I played Burnout from Walking Dead, with the show and everything. And honestly, I am burnout. I haven't watched the last couple of seasons. So, anyway, it's all good. What up, Mario Kart? Welcome. Caleones, hit the big news or confirmation that some rumblings going around about the Switch 4K.
Okay, so we had Super Metal Dave is the one that talked about the new Nintendo Switch system or revision coming out next year. Then we had Marcus Sellers. He was the one that's
stole it, right? He's your bestie, right?
Yeah, we don't like each other, but still, I'm just saying that he said it. Then it was going to be, of course, he piggybacked on there. He kind of was called out because he wasn't the first one to say it, but he kind of tried to make it seem like he did, but whatever. But he was saying it as well. Then we have Super Metal Dave again saying that the real RTU has a secondary source away from Marcus Sellers. So it is not Marcus the source, it is another source. And that they confirmed that a more powerful Switch or portable is in fact in development by Nintendo, and that it will be released soonish. So it seems like they're still shooting for 2019. So be it a home console, be it a handheld, they are doubling and tripling down on the fact that Nintendo is working on a new system, and that it seems like it will be coming out next year.
We shall see, Caleones. They will make a revision. Now, the question is how powerful it's going to be. That's
and
gonna be
when exactly.
And what is exactly. But a revision will be coming, and I'm fine with it. Like I said, as long as you don't split the fan base, we're good to go. Anyway, with that, Caleones, I think let's end the show. Let's put on some music so we can close it. Boom! Of course, some beautiful Xenoblade music. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and watching the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 57, right here at the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy mother effers happy. Also, remember, you can get this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. Rate us over there so you can show some love. Also, description box below, Caleones, right? Description box below. You can see all the beautiful stuff that we do in this channel, Caleones. Like I explained to you, sir. We got PlayStation Mondays, we got Nintendo Wednesdays, we got Fortnite Fridays, we got Force In Unison streams on Saturday, and of course the show on Sunday. Also, Facebook page at Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, Dantes finally, go to forceinunison.wordpress.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, thank you again for joining us. Good night, everybody.